Well, it's another Monday night on Bees All Day. Well, we got some rain over the weekend. Actually, we got Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Hey, Charlie, how are you tonight? Hey, Mark, Jeremy, Jonathan, Dennis, Kathy, and Mr. Bill Lee. Dodd House is out here. Jonathan, Clay, Lock Farm Apiary's on here. Mike from Vermont, Ann, you're on here. It's good to see you tonight. And that's about it right now. I'm sure there's bees. There's Chris. Good evening, Chris. How are you? There's Rodney from Rockhaven Bee Company. Did you get any rain Sunday and today?
We get nothing today. We got an inch Sunday evening or late Sunday afternoon into the evening,
Yeah,
which was really good.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, my son, well, the field that we baled Friday, he spread some nitrogen on it Saturday afternoon, hoping it would rain, which it did. And so, that'll help out. Hey, Mike. And hey, Billy Lee. And all that stuff. And hey, Jeremy. And so he kind of doing some experimenting. I don't know. He seen where I think he had the regular guy that brought the regular spreader in the first time around. You can see where he stopped. Well, there actually, there's a little bit more fertilizer right there. I'll call it fertilizer. And it grew up bigger and better there. So he was wondering by all the chemical analysis and stuff with the ground, they needed to put a certain amount on. But he said, it looked like to me, if I put on a little bit more, that the grass will actually grow much better. So he spread it on some grass before we cut and see whether where he could see the strip of it maybe grow bigger and better.
Okay,
Who knows?
that makes sense.
Well, it's there's so many different things about when it comes to quote fertilizer. You got different analysis, I guess you would call it. What you can get, and depending on what your ground is and
Yeah.
what it tests and all that stuff.
Okay.
So then I got out into the bees Saturday afternoon, took off my shims and cleaned up all the burr comb and put it in buckets and let the bees, a lot of it had honey in it or sugar water. So they pretty much, I went out there today and brought the buckets in so it wouldn't fill up with much rain. And so they pretty much cleaned them out from what I could see. And so we had like a bucket and a half of burr comb.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put that through the wax melter. And, took off all the residue of the cards that you put the ApiGuard on. So most of that was completely destroyed. And all there was that film that the actual cardboard is covered with. I got some video of all that. I just hadn't had time to edit it and put it up. And
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And went through some highs. I got a few. I had some queenless highs for some unknown reason, and so I requeened them, and hopefully they'll take off and be good. And that's pretty much it. I I don't think I'll be, well, this week they're calling for rain, especially the latter part of the week, which is fine with me. I got pretty much everything up to date, I guess you would call it. So my brother, he started out this afternoon, and I presume they're still flying to Vegas right now.
Uh-huh.
So him and his friends there, he went with some friend of theirs shoots pool, and he's out there in that competition out there.
Yeah.
He made it to that competition level. So we also have some friends out there that a doctor friend of ours that used to take care of my parents, and they get to show them, stuff that that are a little bit not the normal stuff. I'll put it to you that way out there. That they took them around to go to see different things.
Yeah.
And all that, and so we'll see how the bees do. Hopefully they and I had been feeding for like 3 weeks. Each week they got a quart of sugar water, some of the Pro Sweet that I got from you.
Yeah.
And like hive number 1 out there, it still had maybe a third of a quart left after 7 days. So that hive doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, as we were going through I had my helper with me this Saturday, kind of as he was cleaning or doing all the leg work, you might say, I was kind of doing a quick inspection of just pulling 2 or 3 frames up out of the top and kind of either to see whether I see brood or whether it's just full of nectar, and I'm like, you can kind of tell that, I'll say half of them really didn't need to be fed anymore. And then there was other ones that you could see they had young, and feeding them. I don't think she stopped laying eggs this year. I'm not sure whether I would blame that on last year on the April guard.
Yeah.
I think that it were more or less in a dearth. I mean, they're out there robbing right now. If you put something out, they're out there on it. And I think because I kept feeding them, you kept stimulating the fact that there's food coming in. She never slowed down.
Yeah.
And that maybe slowed down some, but she didn't stop. And that kind of a thing. So some of them needed feed, they got the feed, and the other ones that didn't really need any feed, I didn't do anything. And then I don't know. There was just, as you can tell, there's like some of them that she's trying to lay eggs and all this young larvae or eggs and brood and whatever. And then I put out several 1-pound patties of bee bites on them. And I went and I marked the hives that had them, with paper on top. And so one of my, he kind of got ahead of me. I said, which one did we put that last bee bite on? So we went back, and he said, I think it's this one. And he was right. So I raised the lid up to make sure, the inner cover, and bees were on it. They weren't just looking at it. They were all the way around the edges on it, eating that thing down, starting on it. So they really like that stuff.
Yeah, they do.
And hopefully it promotes good health and growth and all that kind of stuff. And I had some Super DFM. I had it in that I always keep it in that peanut can, and I don't know. It seemed like the heat and the humidity got to it, where it kind of got crunchy or hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't much left. I just what little bit was left, I just sprinkled it on one of the hives, and I said, have a good day with it. I still got a bag of it. But I didn't put it in them. I figured I'd wait until fall more so when it get rid of some of this humidity, and then put it in that can, and then put it out on all the hives.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure whether that, I don't know. I'm not sure what, I'm sure it's good for him. I know Bob, he still uses it down there, Benny, and all that. But I will say that the bee bites, I don't know. It's, you sit there and you compare them to a pollen patty, and there's a bee bite isn't really a pollen patty, but they seem to really enjoy a bee bite over a, whether it's a 15% pollen patty or whether it's a 5% or whatever they come out as.
I got to spend some time Saturday morning with a commercial beekeeper in Pennsylvania, and it wasn't Will and it wasn't Robert, and had a long conversation with him about nutrition and what he feeds. He said when Strong Microbials came out with a 1 pound patty for the bee bite, he stopped feeding pollen patties. He said he did the research, and he found out that there's more of what they need in the bee bites. He said his bees are raising more bees, and they seem to be healthier and stronger going into winter. Now, of course, he sends bees south in the winter, but he does feed the bee bites down there as well. So, and he will treat them, 3 times before he puts them on the truck to send them out to California.
I was going to ask you whether he's going to go out to California.
Yeah, he treats them 3 times with Super DFM before they go to California.
Oh, okay. So how often does he put a bee bite on?
Whenever they need it. If he checks, he's got a cycle he goes through. He's in there. He tries to be in there every week, but it's about every week and a half. And he said, typically I can drop a bee bite on there and come back in a week and a half, and I have to drop them all over again.
Oh yeah, I've been watching. That's why I put dates on there.
Now he drops patties every week and a half.
Oh yeah, definitely
on 400 hives.
You a week and a half, they'll be totally gone. You'll never know they were ever there.
Yeah.
And then I've had them on there where I think I came back, I don't know what it was, 7 days on that one video where they ate everything except what was on top of the frames. And then the last time I went back, it was gone.
Yep. So, yeah. And yeah, they, the pollen patties do attract the small hive beetle because of the pollen. Yeah.
And they'll lay the eggs in there too.
And they'll lay the eggs in it too. So you got to watch how much of that you put in there, where you can take that bee bite patty and you can put the whole patty in there and walk away. You don't have to worry about the small hive beetle.
Nope. I have not seen any negative things like like them laying eggs and any type of larvae in them.
Yeah.
They eat them up quick.
Yeah.
And that's a whole, that's a whole pound.
Yeah. That's a 1 pound patty.
Now anything I do is I like pulling that real thin paper that they got on there. I know you probably don't really have to, but I try to at least pull one side of it off so they can get quick access. And if I can get both sides pulled off, I do that too.
Yeah. So Kathy, Mike, if Travis is on here for Mike's Easy Ox, you might want to ask him when his strips are coming out. Because I know his strips are coming out here pretty soon.
What, the extended release?
Yeah, the extended release.
Has he gotten approval yet?
I don't know. I never really got an answer.
The last time they've been jerking his chain around, the last time they were on my show.
Yeah.
He said they kept jerking his chain around. And they were, I think, what was it? They were trying to find a receptacle or some type of bucket or some packaging, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy, that's what most everybody does when it comes to pollen patties. But I mean, when I really use pollen patties, I put them on what?
On extended release strips. But if you're trying to build up nukes or something like that, that's the thing to use, because it's got the vitamins and stuff in it.
Yeah, it. But yeah, I like to say, just different things that I've started with. Like in the early spring, when it comes to using fondant patties or something like that, that's more of a, even though you got honey in the hive, if you put it in direct contact, they go get through those cold snaps.
Yeah, they will.
And they'll get through because they're completely in contact with that food source. They'll get through the they'll get through the cold snap, and because they won't starve, because they can't, as the studies say, you can have honey within 3/8 of an inch from the bees, and they won't be able to access it. That's how cold it is.
Yeah.
Whereas you lay a fondant patty of some sort on top of them, literally on top of them, they will be able to access that, and I guess feed from mouth to mouth to mouth throughout the hive in order to keep everybody alive.
Yeah.
And something that's another thing I've learned here this coming spring or this past spring. And like Will, I told him about me putting pollen patties on in February, and he definitely sees the advantage of that, trying to get your hives up and running quick in the spring. And I don't know, the bee bites, I like them, and I'm wondering, I don't know, I'm right now when it comes to a dearth, I won't say there's a lot of pollen out here yet. I mean, now some people are saying they're starting to see goldenrod. I don't quite see it yet around me, and that's definitely a local thing.
Yeah.
Whereas these bites, like I say, they don't attract the hive beetles and stuff like that, and they got the nutritional value in them. And I think they're actually a little bit better than a pollen patty, because pollen patty is partially a percentage of pollen, and the rest of it is, you'll sit there and read the ingredients. What is it? Not cornmeal, but
high fructose corn syrup and sugar.
nah, what's the other stuff? It's a solid.
Um,
It's a meal or something. It's a ground.
yeah, it's cornmeal. It's like a cornmeal.
Yeah, but I can't think of what it is.
Hang on a second, I can tell you.
So Kathy says up around the New York area there, they got goldenrod. The biggest thing around here, Kathy, is they, hey Dottie, they spray for everything, kill everything.
Yeah. It's trace elements and compounds, the hemicellulose, phenolics, flavonoids, alkaloids, phytohormones, and gamma. It's called GABA.
Yeah, you're not talking about your common pollen patty.
No. Yeah, well, that's the rocket fuel pollen patty.
Yeah, but just a common old pollen patty off the regular market. It's got something in it. Is it soy?
It's a protein source, a liquid, binder, carbohydrate, essential oils, and supplements. Core ingredients are protein powder, carbohydrate binder, which is granulated white cane sugar mixed with water, either as 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. Fats and oils, canola oil, vegetable oil, flaxseed oil, and improved texture for the improved texture and palpability. No health supplements other than pollen, a little bit of lemongrass oil, but not much. Or you can get them with honeybee healthy in them. It's not a lot to just a run of the mill pollen patty.
Yeah, but what's in the run of the mill pollen patty?
I
That's
just told you.
now I've read it different. I'm not all those extra doohickeys in there. It's got a common.
Ultra Bee has, which is a pollen substitute. It has soy flour, brewer's yeast,
That's what I'm talking about. There you go.
and non-fat dry milk and wheat gluten
Yeah, but you got soybean flour in it,
meal. Yeah, soybean meal.
meal flour, whatever, and you got
Yeah,
what else was it? Cotton
brewer's yeast.
brewer's yeast. So there's your
Yeah.
two main ingredients that a pollen patty or a pollen substitute. It's not really a pollen patty; it's a substitute. All of them are, and they had those two common things in them, pretty much across the board. And most of your common pollen patty manufacturers.
Why did they take the wax off the frames? They don't. They're chewing the wax down to get to the honey that's left inside of the on the frames or in the cells of the frames. That's the reason for that.
Yeah, you'll get that.
Yeah.
Common. That's a common thing. I see that on the pallets. They'll sit there and chew and whatever.
Yeah.
And then like these frames I've been washing, well, they'll get out there and they'll be sitting there and there's no bees on them, but I guess it's the wax moth or somebody getting the pollen out of there, and they will just destroy the wax around that pollen to get into that pollen, I guess. But I'm on my third batch of frame washing. So today's actually day 5. I've been saying 5 days, which is true, but here lately, because of scheduling, it's always been about 7 days, the day 7 when I wash them out. And I looked at them today, and they got sort of there's this white film that kind of sits up on top of the water, and along with let's say pollen pellets and things like that, it break loose and float to the top. Hey, Rodney. Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
And so these are some of the frames I pulled out last week that were just a complete sheet of, I'll say more so bee bread, which is pollen with a little bit of honey mixed on top. I think it's how they do that. And got a lot of comments, a lot of views on that video. A couple things I've changed. I went to 1 full cup of bleach and a 15 to 20 gallon water, whatever. Hey, Ian. And I put 2 boards down on top of it. Put the frames shoulder to shoulder across the bottom of the tank. 2 1x6s, 3/4 inch by 1x6. They're 16 inches long. That's how wide the tote is. And then I put like 2 3.5 by 3.5 by 16-inch long cement blocks in there to keep them under submerged. And then I take the hose and turn the hose on and put a full cup of bleach in there and fill it up to where water is above the frames at least an inch, and let them soak a minimum 5 days, no more than 7. And they wash right out. I see Ian in here. Now, Ian, I got a question. I seen a video. You were harvesting honey the old-fashioned way, as you said. And you had, I don't know, 100 boxes or more out there up on their edge with their frames up and down, full of bees, which are probably they were the bees, I think, from the hives that they came off of. And in their honey boxes. And then the way I got it was you came back so many hours, and the bees naturally, I'll say, cleared the boxes. My question is, I mean, you're normally having fighting problems with robbing and covering up your truckload of honey as you're stacking with a canvas. And it's like, how do you harvest the honey that way without them robbing those frames out and taking it back to the hives they came from and losing that? I mean, you're not really losing the honey because they're going to put it back into the boxes that you just restacked on. So that's my question, Ian. If you can come in and explain that, let me know. But instead of using a skateboard and things of that nature. Hey, David. So, and then Ian's building's coming along quite well. He got the rafters up. I have never seen a construction company actually lift a section of 3 or 4 rafters at one time and place them up on top.
I haven't either, and that looks like a really fast way to do it.
Yeah, because, hey, Joey, most people will use, they'll have a crane set up and they'll pick a rafter up, put it on there, and then they got the guys up on top there and they're putting scabbing boards on and getting it put in place and all. And that kind of stuff. It looks like you say, if they, like Ian was saying also, where they can work on the ground more safer, have all that have it in groups of 3 or 4 or whatever they were lifting, and put
there
it up.
He is.
There he is.
I've been waiting for that same answer.
He's got to answer my question.
Yeah. I'm not done working, so I'll just hop in for 2 minutes there, Charlie.
All right, explain that, what you did there. I don't quite, I was like, to me, you're going to create a frenzy.
So up here we have a flow that goes on, and it's really intense. There's about 3 or 4 weeks of real intense flow. We get it's coming in like a box a week, pretty much. Right. And the bees are so focused on the fields that and the nectar, that they do not pay any attention to the honey that's already been stored if it's exposed. So one way that we can pull honey that's very efficient this time of year, where you don't need blowers, you don't need fumes, you don't need escapes. One way of doing it is just take the box, tip it onto the ground, and come back in about 4 hours, 5 hours. Some guys leave it overnight, come back in the morning. They'll tip all day. They'll come back the next morning. The bees will all be cleared. They'll fly up and they'll find their way back to their nest. And then you basically just pick up the boxes. So it has its problems too, but it is a really quick way of pulling honey. And the reason why I did that is it instead of using escapes is because I needed to get going. Like, we're a little bit late and I have 7 guys standing around and I had to get things going. So we went through 5 yards, tipped them down, picked up in the afternoon, then we started extracting the next day, and then I resumed with escape boards.
That part I kind of figured that I kind of got that, because you said you had plenty of help and all that stuff. So really is what you've done there is kind of like us down here, that if you put a frame of honey out there exposed and there's a flow on, they won't hardly touch it.
They won't touch it, no.
As soon as the flow stops, they'll be all over it, and that's a way of telling whether or not you don't have a flow or not.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, but like you said, you've got a horrendous flow that you're playing against Mother Nature, kind of manipulating it.
Yeah. Some of the bigger guys up here, they'll like a lot of guys use fume boards because fume boards are a lot quicker. One trip to the yard, put a fume board on, and you take the box away. But guys, I mean, they don't want to use chemical, and they don't want to use, because a fume board has its problems too. So guys will send like a crew out, 10 guys, and they'll just tip all day, and they'll come back and pick them up. And they'll do that all year, even during robbing. Guys will go out and they'll just tip them down. And then by the time they're done the end of the yard, they're all on the ground. Then the bees are starting to find the boxes. They go to the start, and the bees have already started leaving those boxes. They'll blow them out of the blower and put them onto the truck and get out of there in about, half an hour or 3/4 of an hour. So it's a pretty neat trick. Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, I've seen you in the past where you've had to the covers over the hives, and then you
because
had
of robbing. Yeah.
and then you had the tarps going across your truck, to keep them out of the boxes you already put on
During
there.
robbing season. Yeah, we're just about to get into that now. I bet you we don't have a week, and we're going to get back into, dearth. There'll still be some flow coming in, but there won't be enough to, take the attention away from the bees from the colonies itself. So,
Yeah.
at any rate,
And
that's
then,
what we're doing there.
well, and before you get and leave, your building looking mighty fine. That's a good looking
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, I was walking through it here today, and I was thinking to myself, I just kind of paced out where my boxes are going to be and my barrels, and I was, oh boy, it's probably going to be too small yet.
There you go. I told you.
You never built it big enough.
I told you you'd fill that thing up quicker than you think you will.
Yeah, boy, I sure need it though.
And
Like my
you were-
checkbook's not big enough for anything bigger than that though, but so
Well,
I'll make good use of it.
Yeah, we
That
were
daughter
saying
of
up
yours is going to be either running the business or her own business before long.
Yeah, one of the two. She's either going to be good for you or she's going to be good competition for you. One of the two.
But
Yeah,
you were pacing off where you're going to have your break room, and then that was going to be your office above. And I'm like, man, you're killing your space here. You need to,
yeah.
you need to
is
put
doing
your
that.
break room and everything out that back door over there, or wherever it was on the end.
Yeah, I know. But it is what it is. Right now, this is the break room here. And I have like 7 guys in here, and it's just not big enough. Then I
Yeah.
have a neighbor comes in. This will be the, come in, the neighbor comes in, just the kind of that front room now. So the guys, the crew can get away from everything. So that's how that's going to be. It'll be nice.
I mean, but like you say, your crew. I mean, how long are they with you? A month or two, or
2 months. Yeah.
2 months?
2 months.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. Was it worth building all that for just 2 months?
I think so. Yeah. For one thing, I need an office. So that's going to be upstairs. Get my business away from everything, right? And then this will be a place to get them out and aside, so then the rest of the farm can, kind of circulate in and out. So it'll work. Yeah. And there's going to be a candle room in there. Sandy wants to do some wax stuff, so it'll be set up, and we want to take it down all the time. It'll just be there. So she can go in there whenever she wants. So just the luxury of having space, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it amounts to. But
Yeah.
it's just like anything else. I mean, if you're going, you're going forward in your business, you just need to buy things to make things grow and make things bigger and better.
When you hire on a crew, you gotta make space for them. Otherwise, how are they supposed to do what they do? And then, right now, their bee suits are just over there all bunched up. I wash them every evening, but my office, like I called my closet, that's going to be an actual closet now. I'm going to turn that into, bee suits. They could put their shoes down and their stuff. They'll have a dedicated little shelf for their own stuff. So it's going to be nice just to spread things out a little bit.
Good.
Yeah. It just,
but it's sure expensive. Holy man, it's sure expensive. The guy's building my place like a fortress, though, which is good. That's the way I like it. He's not skimping out on anything. But it's just going to be this open wall. Like it's just tin on the outside, tin on the roof. It's just a storage shed for right now. That's all I could afford. The concrete was so much money. And I just need a place to put boxes, back my truck into, the lounge area, barrels, and stuff. Just a place to put stuff.
When it comes, like you say, you can always insulate down the road if that's necessary.
Yeah, that's right. Like my facility is working really well. We put through a few hundred boxes here today, and it's tickety boo. I mean, we could add another extracting line if we wanted to. Depends how ambitious my daughter gets. And my hot room is big enough. Everything there, it just needs storage, so that's what I'm getting there. So I'm glad the farm is able to provide that.
Yeah, like you say, with April coming on, and hopefully she continues with that enthusiasm and drive, that you'll be your right hand person, for you.
Yeah,
and
that'll be the test. That's exactly it. That drive, that's up to her. So either she has it or she doesn't, and we'll find out in the next bunch of
Well,
years here.
you know,
So
I
she'll
look,
either drive into a direction or she'll just kind of stall and then not know and then maybe drift away. So that's up to her. I have nothing to, all I can do is just set the plate. Kind of like
well,
my old man.
like
That's what
right
he
now.
did. The opportunity's there and I just went and grabbed it. And that's what she has to do. She has to go and grab it.
Well, I mean, one of the key things that I see within your videos is, she took over the queen rearing operation, and she's doing quite well with it, from what I could see.
Yeah. She is. Yeah.
And seems like what you were stating about her queens and her boxes, and they are really doing fantastic.
Yeah.
As
A good start.
As far as the good genetics and whatever. So I think you've got a key player right there, just in that, So hopefully
she's seeing success right now, and we're having a good crop come in, so she's seeing that. It's going to be whether or not we'll see how she handles failure, because that's part and parcel of farming, trying to get through those tough times, and it's hard. It can be really hard when you run into problems, hardship, and just getting through that. It'll be interesting to watch her do it, and if she can get through that, then she'll be okay.
Well, like you were talking about her asking you questions, financials, and how to do the business part of it. And I think the big thing with farming, like you're saying, is yes, you have a good year this year, but take a percentage of that income and put it away for the bad times. Yeah. And that way you've got something to fall back on when things are not as good as far as, let's say, a honey crop coming in or whatever.
Yeah. So. Yep. Managing cash flow and budgets. Yep. For sure. She's learning that. Yeah. We've opened the books up for her schooling. So she's getting guidance with her instructors just about everything financial. Then she's bringing that back to me, asking for some feedback on it. So she's getting a real good grasp of the numbers and how everything flows and the cash flow and, how we manage risk and how we manage production and facility and all those important things. Or it's quite overwhelming.
The biggest thing is you can give her a real world experience.
Yeah,
not just reading it out of a book or something like that, or listening to somebody.
Is she doing like FFA or 4-H or something like that?
No, she's going to a college. She's in college, right?
Yeah, she was in 4-H for all her life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's very grounded, that's for sure. 4-H is really good. Your FFA program is fantastic down the States. When I'm down at the conferences talking to beekeepers, I dig into them about what that all entails, and that's pretty important for the rural community. So that's good. Don't ever lose that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got to get back to work here. Got some barrels.
All right, Ian. Well, thanks for coming in.
Just to give you a little feedback. Heard my name, so I'll stop in another time. See you guys.
Thank you. Now. See ya. Well, that's nice of him to stop by.
Yeah, it is.
Leaving those boxes sitting out like that, I haven't seen a time I could do that in the last 3 years.
I haven't either.
And this year was even worse, but we've always had, for the last 3 years, almost at least a part of the day robbing going on.
Yeah.
And
now last
there was
year,
a time when you could set a whole frame of honey out there uncapped, and it'd sit there for days. But I hadn't seen any of those days in several years.
Last year I had we were harvesting honey. Shoot, I must have had 5 pounds of bees in my back porch area. You couldn't blow them out of those. Fume board them, tip them up, and blow them out, and the bees would go back out into the air and right back in like a magnet. And now this year I could blow them all out and no problem. I had very few bees in the back. Back.
I know.
Always have some, but not much.
Back when we used to have good tallow here, I could throw broken bird comb and honeycomb. I could just throw it in a pile, and a lot of times I would do that somewhere in the yard and let them clean it up. And the next day I'm in there, I can scoop dry comb up in a bucket. But I've seen that where it would sit there for days and never get touched. But like I say, I hadn't had those days. in a while.
No,
I
I
got 'em
was,
knocking on the door of my honey house
yeah,
wanting to come in.
I was cleaning bird comb off over the weekend, and I used a smoker, the Technical beekeeping smoker, and just smoked a living nuts. And they weren't leaving that comb. It had honey in it, and we are not moving.
Yeah.
And so I scraped it off, put it in 5-gallon buckets, and then set the buckets over in behind the barn there so they could go over there and rob. And they robbed for hours over there, taking it back. And I went out there this morning, and they had rain, and I poured what little bit of water was in the bucket and out. And pretty much I could kind of tell that the combs were pretty much, robbed out and all that and all. Hey there, Mr. John. And all that. So, and there's Brian. And I seen, who was it? Forget
Baker's
now.
bees.
Yeah, it was Randy, I believe. I've seen Randy on here.
Bees, Chris. Didn't see him earlier.
So David Vander Dusen, where are you located at? Are you up around where Ian's at, or are you down here in the States someplace? So, like I say, yeah, there he is. It was Randy. But so like I say, I got all that taken care of. And today I got one of my shims, which was a 2-inch shim. And that was fine when I was using sugar bricks and things like that, which I don't need it that deep. And I got the measuring where I have like a 3/8 rim on my inner covers. And which created a space of 2.5 inches. So I looked at remaking 1-inch shims, which would reduce it by 1 inch. So the 1.5 inches of that 3/8 spacer around the inner cover. You think you can get away with 3/8 spacer, just the inner cover, with putting the upper guard on, Bill? Or do you think you need a little more height?
When on our migratory bees, we use a migratory cover with a 3/8 inch rim on it.
And that's it?
That's it. No inner cover.
Well, you're still getting the 3/8 height.
Yeah, 3/8 inch.
Your migratory is acting kind of like an inner cover, you might say.
Yeah.
But it's got a 3/8 rim around it, and you can put the card in, put the gel in, and you're done.
Yeah.
So that's 18, 20 pieces of equipment I don't need.
Yep.
So I have.
And actually, by the time you buy a migratory cover, it's a little bit cheaper than a telescopic lid. And then if you buy a telescopic lid, you're going to buy an inner cover. That's another $9 to $15, depending on where you get it.
Is instead of me putting the shim on, put the inner cover on, which creates a space. If I put a 1-inch shim on, that creates a 1.5 inch space because I measured today.
Right.
So that's still a lot of space.
Yep.
Whereas if I scrape down the frames, put the card on there, squirt the jelly on there, and I had one hive out there. I think I mistakenly treated them. And I put a brand new card on there, and I had one of your covers, I think, on there that I bought, where I put a rim. I always have to put rims around them because they're never tall enough. And they took the stuff down with no problem. So I'm looking, well, I won't have to have that burr comb. I won't have to worry about another piece of equipment.
Yep.
And all that. But I got time for the next 2 weeks. I can do something with during the daytime. And I figure, well, I'll make a 1-inch shim instead of a 2-inch shim. And instead of having that great big shim up there with a lot of burr comb problem, if I need it.
Yeah.
if I'm putting a bee bite on there, normally I can put a bee bite on there with a 3/8 shim and it's fine.
Yep.
On the inner cover. And I can put a pollen, or not a pollen. Well, you could put a pollen patty. You could put a fondant patty on there, as long as it ain't too thick, with just the rim on my inner cover. I don't need all those extra parts.
Right.
I got thinking about that today because I just made one of them up and was measuring and seeing what the distance was and that kind of stuff.
And the migratory cover it tends to sit better because it's weight on it. You really don't have to put anything on top of it.
Yeah, well, Rodney there, he does telly covers with
1/2-inch shim, no inner cover. That's a lot of space.
Hey, Mac.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, I was just kind of, I had so much trying to reduce, you might say, the workload type of thing. But I figured, well, I'm going to go ahead and make some 1-inch shims since I got the time to do it.
Yeah.
If I instead of putting a great big thick thing on there, which is 2.5 inches thick, now I just reduced it by 1 inch.
Yeah. Yep.
And now I'm down to 1.5 inches, with the thickness of the rim around the telly or the inner cover, and then that 1-inch shim.
Yeah.
Or I don't think I can put it together with a screw if it's any smaller than a 1-inch piece, 3/4 by 1 inch.
Why?
Well, I could put it together with I've tried crown staples, but they just pull apart.
Yeah, they pull apart. Well, why can't you take drill a pilot hole and use like a drywall screw or a short deck screw?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was thinking about maybe cutting that board down to 3/4 inch. So that would make it 1.25 inches deep. But I figured, well, maybe I just go with 1 inch, and that way, what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna put them together with a crown, a little 1/4 inch crown, and then, like you say, drill a pilot hole and then put the screws in there to hold them good and tight.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works. So that's what I'm doing all that kind of thing.
So how was your honey flow, Joey?
What honey flow? I'm done.
How much did you end up with?
A little bit over 1,000 pounds, if I remember right. I'm not in the honey house.
So what you normally get in, a couple thousand?
I'm under maybe 200 or 300 pounds.
Yeah, so you usually get right around 1,500 pounds, something like that.
That's pretty good.
Hey, Matt.
I'm not going to complain about it though. It's good enough.
Yeah. Well, you didn't get any tallow this year, right?
Right, I didn't. And it was weird how it was. It wasn't. You couldn't make a sense out of the way it was flowing. Like it was dead here. Somebody just east of me might be flowing good. Somebody south of me should be doing better, and they're worse than me. And it's just kind of like all over the place. Weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
I don't know.
We've had a really freaky flow up here this year too. So,
well, you guys had I think you were more of in a drought situation than I was. I think at a certain extent.
We're still in a drought, even though we had a little over an inch of rain Sunday.
Yeah, I mean we're still in the drought here too. But
yeah,
and it's supposed to supposedly rain like a Thursday through Sunday type of thing.
We were supposed to get some tonight. So
We're
I
not
don't
going
know
to
if
do
we're
that.
still
Now,
going to get it or not.
my son told me over where he lives, and you could see it on the radar, that the heavier, you know how it is. You got the lighter areas and then the heavier parts of the main rain. He got that heavy rain where the water was going right across the his driveway and stuff.
Yeah, we're not going to get any rain tonight.
Well,
It's
I
all down in Southern Virginia.
We're not showing any till Thursday. And last week when I looked at my app, it said about the same thing. 3 days out, we had a little rain coming,
Yeah.
and it rained probably for about 30 minutes one day. Not even enough to wet the grass. You could walk outside barefooted and you wouldn't get your feet wet.
Yeah, but you got rain.
Yeah, but I'm surprised we're not under a burn ban here because grass
Yeah.
is dry.
As dry as y'all are, I'm very surprised.
But talking about that flow, I'm going to talk to some of the guys at the club the next meeting. Some of the last things that actually was blooming here was the mimosa, and it's rebounding from years past because it kind of died out here, and it just started coming back like last year or so. And that elderberry, I don't know how much of a flow they actually put on, but I had a few frames that were not finished out, but had honey in them. It wasn't capped, but it was thick, and there was some of it I just actually took the hive to and scraped it off into my tank. Not on top of the cappings, but just on the bottom where the cappings wasn't laying. And I tasted of that, and it's got a whole different flavor from anything down here I've ever tasted. And if I could figure out what that was, and I'd try to capture a box or two of that because it tastes good. It had a little bit of a citrus kind of flavor to it.
Huh.
Light colored.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it was.
Huh. Yeah, see, I got a field full of buckwheat and a field full of sunflowers right now.
I've said it before, what I may try to do, because I always try to be done by July 4th. I'm going to try to have everything finished next year and then put a few mediums back on some of the stronger hives.
Yep.
And see if they bring any of that in. Some of that late flow, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'll get flow off these sunflowers and the buckwheat, and that'll drag them through till end of August,
Hey, Keith.
and then I'll start feeding heavy.
Yeah, now Dinah says she's got sumac, but I got a sumac over here, and it's got that red cone, staghorn sumac, I think they call it.
Yeah.
But that means it's already flowered. It must have flowered several months ago. I know there's different types of sumac. Yeah, as far as goldenrod, I haven't seen anything around here right yet.
Yeah, we don't have any goldenrod here on the farm or anywhere close. Everybody sprays it around here. They kill it in the spring.
Yep. You'll see it along the roadway up here next to my house a little bit.
Yeah.
That's about it. Up on the banks some. But
and then of course corn is coming along. It's tasseling, so it's starting to drop pollen too. So
Dinah, I've never seen sumac bloom. What'd you say, Joey?
Hey, Troy, I might try to pull a frame of mostly goldenrod this fall if we get any, and just harvest a jar of it and bring it up there and where everybody can taste what our goldenrod tastes like.
Yeah, now see, everybody talks about that goldenrod flow, and around where I'm at, there is no flow. You'll get pollen out. You'll get pollen out of it.
Yeah, but you won't get any nectar out of it.
But when it comes to any measurable nectar, maybe they get a little bit for themselves, but other than that, nothing.
Yeah. It's goldenrod up here. It's basically non-existent anymore.
Hey, Brian.
When you first taste the goldenrod, to me, it's not too bad, but that aftertaste starts kicking in about 5 or 10 seconds after you eat
Is
it.
that kind of like athlete's foot or something?
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't really taste like nothing like that.
I figured you maybe licked a couple feet and it tastes just the same.
Strong, but it doesn't have that smell about it after it's cured.
Yeah, I've often heard about the smell of it, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't smell like that at all once it's cured and capped.
Hey, Clay.
Yeah, it doesn't smell anymore. It doesn't smell once it's cured and capped, but it tastes like an old wet tennis shoe.
It might. I don't know. I always used to blend it a little bit. I'd pull a frame or two every year. I had a customer. She every 2 or 3 weeks she's buying a quart from me. Blend, goldenrod blend.
Yeah.
For several years she bought it till she retired and moved off. She loved it.
What about the staghorn type, Dinah?
Clay made a comment back.
Staghorn
Said the
type.
staghorn type. Yeah.
I don't know. The one I got over here is red looking, and as far as I know, I've been trying to watch it bloom, to catch it bloom, but I've never seen it. Had temperatures over 100 degrees out there. I thought you guys lived in the mountains.
Yeah, so did I.
Thought Colorado was in the mountains.
Yeah.
Not all of it. They got flats out there on the eastern side of
Yeah, it's desert.
Flats.
Yeah, it's desert.
I rode all the way through it on a motorcycle, riding this way. That wind blowing, I was riding this way until I passed a truck. It straightened back up. As soon as I got around that truck, I'm back like this again.
Well, there's Mr. Todd tonight.
High fructose corn syrup, number 55, huh?
Yeah. T55. 55% solids. Wow. That's hot out there.
109.
109 degrees.
Yeah, but that's a dry heat. Don't
That's
feel
still
like
hot.
Yeah, but still, it's hot.
Still hot. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Hottest I've ever been in natural heat when I was in California. It was 112, and the wind was blowing, and it felt like somebody hit me with a giant hairdryer or something. I couldn't even breathe.
Yeah, like a blowtorch.
Yeah, I couldn't even bring air in my lungs. I had to jump back in the car a minute.
Yeah.
Now, Troy's had some really good videos of making up that homemade drying system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did.
Which kind
He
of
gave me an idea. I got something I'm going to do with what I got in the shed.
Well, it kind of looks like what that thing that Bob Benny's got made up.
Yeah. And, you know, Philip did that 2 or 3 years ago on a small scale in his little drying room. He had them pans.
I thought he had that where he was in a closet. I don't think they flowed from one thing, did they?
Well, I think that was his intention. I can't remember exactly what he did with it, but that was his intention. But I got something I'm wanting to do. When I saw Troy do that, I said, I need to try that. Well, I got this pump.
Chris, he got.
I've got about 6 buckets. It's like 19. I want to dry that up a little bit.
Chris is out there in Missouri. So he done quite well, 420 pounds.
Yeah.
Once the blackberries bloom, Clay.
All right, Brian.
Should be in June.
So basically, if there's any nectar there, then
It's gone now.
well, yeah. What I'm getting at is it's blooming. It's producing nectar in June, along with any other honey flow that I have. Who checked out Baker Bees?
Baker Bees.
Is that
They down there near Baton Rouge area.
I'm thinking the one. What's the one out that fell out in Utah?
Barker.
Barker. That's Barker Bees.
Yep.
Where are you at, Eric?
Night, David. Thanks for coming by. Eric is in Texas, isn't he? Or is he in? I don't know, Tom. I don't know who he is. He's changed his hairstyle again.
Who's that?
Tom wants to know who the bald fella is.
What
Which
ball
one?
Which one?
fella?
No, he's in Colorado.
Colorado.
There's Tom and Melissa.
Wow. Well, what are you going to get into the rest of the week, Joey?
I don't know. I ain't done nothing beekeeping for a while. I went with the wife today to town. Spent the day with her.
Yeah.
But, I think I'm gonna get in the honey house maybe tomorrow and do that. Try to set up that drying and see how it works. I'll probably even video it. If it's a fail, I won't do it. If it works, I'll.
So how are you going to set it up?
Well, I tell you what I'm thinking about doing. Just using. I've got that 9-gallon. It's a strainer tank's what it is. It's got 2 of the strainers in it, like a
clarifier.
Like a clarifier does.
Yeah.
And I don't need those, but I can take those strainers out and put 9 gallons of honey in it and pump it out into my. And I got a warmer for it to keep it warm.
Yeah.
Pump it out into my uncapping tank, kind of slow, and just let it drain in that uncapping tank real thin, and run back into that bucket. Just keep circulating it and put a little small fan on it. And I'm keeping the room 80 degrees and very low humidity anyway. So run that for like a day or 2 and see how much it drops.
I mean, it sounds like it might be worth a try because if you get it thin like that, it'll dry out faster.
Yeah.
A thin layer of it.
I ever seen anything like that done. A big gold honey here, where I got these interview covers from. He did that. He had a stainless steel table, just jacked up, just elevated, just a little bit, and he had a big drum on the end of that table, and he was pumping it out on top of that table and letting it just spread out and run off that table in a dry, controlled room. And he brought it down a couple numbers that way. It was like 19 or 20, and he got it down a couple to a good measure. I don't remember what his numbers were.
Yeah.
But he did a little short video on it, and he had it just running off that table. He kind of scanned, following it, and you just think it's going to go. You didn't know what it was running off in, and he had it going into that big drum.
Yeah.
Then going into a drum.
Brian said going to GBA.
Yeah. There's another one coming. Pretty soon we're going to have our own little traveling group that's going to go around to all these conferences. Maybe next year we can go to Alabama. Down there with Grammy. And then we can slide on over to Joey's.
I wish that guy would still have those in Slidell down here. He had one, and it turned out pretty good. I don't think the vendors did very good, though. But they had a good number of people there. I think if they'd have gave him another shot, they probably would have done better. But I don't think some of the people were expecting the vendors, and the people wasn't expecting them to be there like that.
Yeah, I thought they did an amazing job, honestly.
Yeah, and get hooked up with pre-orders for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the Brown family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What show was that? Alabama?
No, it was in
Louisiana.
It was north of Lake Pontchartrain in Slidell, Louisiana. What was it called, Tom?
What was the show in Slidell called?
In Slidell?
Be Alive?
I think so.
Was it called Be Alive?
Bees Alive?
Bees Alive?
Something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, was that 3 years ago?
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago.
Something like that.
Right.
Y'all had already had your motel or something, didn't? Or a house or something rented?
Yeah. It was ironically, and we didn't know this, it was Mr. Ed's mother's house that we had rented the first time we came down there. When we spoke with Mr. Ed, and just ironically happened to find this out, he asked us where we were staying at in Slidell, and we told him the road that it was on, which there's only a few houses on. And then he asked, he's like, wait a minute, that's my mom's old house. And whomever bought it had turned it into an Airbnb. But unfortunately, that 2 years ago when we signed up to go down there again, they ended up canceling it. But they also
they stopped in here. I don't know.
Slidell had actually said they can't have Airbnbs down there, so they had to cancel us on that too. So I mean, it kind of worked out.
Okay.
Yeah, they cut that out on them.
Mm-hmm. It was a great space because we went down there with Dennis and Melanie Cruz from North Florida.
Yeah, the daughter. I don't know what her name is.
And we were going to go the second year as well. Hey, Charlie, you're not muted, by the way. We can hear you.
Yeah.
I'm hearing something in my earpiece, and I think it's his phone conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom,
Yeah.
I've got a logo I can send you that's 300 DPI.
Oh yeah, perfect. I sent you. I mean, you have my email anyway. Fire that over to me, and I'll send it over to Janet. She's the one that
Oh.
handles that. We're gonna get that sign made here, hopefully this week.
Maybe she just
that'll
wasn't
be
able to, you know. She felt she could come, but like that.
Hey, Bill, you might mute Sawmill Charlie. He may not realize that he's on air.
Yeah.
Like me.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Georgia conference. Honestly, I really am. There's going to be a lot of amazing speakers there. When we were there last year, I spent part of the time there listening to some presentations that I wanted to hear. Lewis Bartlett, and there's a couple others. The gentleman from the University of Arkansas, I'm forgetting his name. He did some great presentations. One of them was on polyandry. And another one was on polytheism, actually. Both of them were really good. But anyway, there's a few I listened to, and the rest of the time I spent out in there heckling Michael Mahar. Oh, yeah, Jace, did you get that package? I was going to email you telling you we finally got it sent off, but yeah. Well, hope you enjoy everything there. It's our pleasure, man. Enjoy the merch too, buddy. Yeah, Bill, definitely looking forward to the GBA conference and show, and it sounds like there may be a handful of people coming up there. Maybe we can get John Boxteagle to come up. John, you want to drive north up to the north of Atlanta? Probably only like part of a day's drive. Come on.
I was surprised that he hadn't said he was going yet.
Yeah, I am
Well,
too.
I was gonna say he could be a vendor there, but they've been sold out for a long time. I think that show usually sells out pretty quickly as far as the vendor space.
Yeah. So it should be in Melissa's inbox.
Oh, I see that email too. Hold on. Yep, I got you. Hey, that email, he just sent that over. I'll get that forwarded over.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We want to get that.
Is that one going to work? Because I do have one more.
John's asking what the date is. When is it?
It's the 11th and 12th of September.
Yeah. I'm trying to do it on my phone, and I'm only seeing part of it. I'm sure it's coming through though, Bill. If I have any issues, I'll send you a reply back.
Yeah. Just let me know.
Yeah, and you said you're going to have some extracting equipment there, some stainless, and I forget what else you said.
I'll have 18 frame extractors, creamers, settling tanks, and uncapping tanks.
Are you bringing any other type of beekeeping gear?
A nail. I'm gonna bring a nail and frames.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mr. John, it's at Gainesville, Georgia, at the Ramsey Conference Center.
yep,
Mm-hmm. It's the same place every year.
every year.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that motel where it's at sold out yet.
I don't know. I got
At
to get my room for the MBA.
The Ramsey Conference Center does not have a hotel space attached to it. It's a campus.
Yeah, it's a college, like a tech center campus.
Yes, exactly. And there's different campus buildings there. But there are some, Joey, nearby hotels. There's one, if you were interested in going, Joey, we can send you the one that we're going to be at. I think Michael was going to be there, and I don't know.
Yeah, send it to me. I'll talk to the boss lady and see if she wants to maybe go up there.
Did you send that link to me?
You got your motel with you. You can drag it with you, Joey.
Granddaughter still got that thing.
Oh,
That means you'd have to drag her along.
yeah. I don't think his wife would appreciate that.
I'll have to suitcase it. I could put the granddaughter in a motel for a couple of weeks and
There you go.
take it and then bring it back to her.
Yeah. She might not like that. I thought she was staying with a bunch of friends of hers.
Well, that never did work out good because when you get a price on a house, you don't get the full picture until you get there and start seeing all the numbers.
Yep.
So that didn't work out. I really
Now we
think
got to get.
like where she's at.
Next thing we got to do is get Todd to fly across the country to Georgia.
Yeah. Man, I remember last time I flew into Atlanta Airport. Hope you don't have to go there.
Yep, that's the closest airport.
Is it?
What's the hotel that EMBA is at?
The hotel. I'll forward Bill. I'll send you the link to the hotel. It's a Holiday Inn.
That's Hilton Garden Inn. Hilton Garden Inn.
The Hilton Garden Inn at the EMBA.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. You're not understanding what I'm talking about, then, are you? Hey, Bill. You and I were having an A/B conversation.
Yeah, and she's having C.
She's having C. She does that a lot.
I wish.
Well, hey, hardworking people. When people work hard, that's what they do, right?
That's right.
Right, Melissa?
Yeah.
That's what they do. When you work hard, that's what happens.
He's talking to you. I have an earpiece in, so she can't hear anything from my end.
Oh, okay.
She has the
I got to rely on you to relay it.
Yeah.
Oh, she never get
I
that
told her to
message
turn the
right.
volume down.
She'll never get the message.
She'll be watching.
I want my camera to do what Tom's does. Looks like
What's
there's
that?
somebody in the room with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I need to go into the settings. You can probably stop it from doing that, but when I look away, it'll zoom in.
It just went
Or if
dark.
if I can't see
Must-
my
That's
face,
just like
it'll zoom in
if I start talking with my hands, my camera zooms in or zooms out or moves or whatever.
mine
So
don't do
I've got to sit here and put my hands in my pockets.
that.
All right, Joey, I just messaged you the hotel link where
Okay.
we're staying out there. It's about an 8 to 10 minute drive away from the campus facility.
Okay.
It's a
I
nice
think
place.
we're
And it's very
staying-
affordable.
I think we're staying at the Hilton Garden Inn too.
Hey, you want to go to Georgia in September? He said, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
They got a conference.
It's going to be a party. Hey,
Yep.
Joey, we need this guy over here in the diagonal corner. I'm not sure if he
Huh?
made up his mind. This guy over here. I'm not sure if he made up his mind.
Oh, you're
He's got-
pointing the wrong way. You talking about Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie.
The other
The
way.
The other way.
It's up there on me.
Your camera's
Yeah.
back.
That
Somewhere
way.
up there.
Now you got him.
Oh, well, see, I can see him on this side.
September
Anyway,
what? All those dates again? September what?
11th and 12th.
11th and 12th. We'll be getting in on Thursday.
So there's a better chance now than there was last time to go.
Yeah, I like putting her in the hotel.
Hey, Charlie, did I send you that link to the hotel? Did I send you that link to the hotel the other day?
I don't believe so.
Hey, Bill, Joe, you hear that?
What?
Lisa heard me talking about putting her in the hotel and me and Lisa taking the camper up there.
What did she say?
He said she liked that idea. We hadn't told
Uh-oh.
Lexi that, though. I don't know if it'd be worth all that trouble. If I still got to pay a hotel, I might as well just go to do it myself.
There you
Charlie,
go. That way you get to stay where you want to stay.
Yeah.
John, I just sent you that information too. And I sent it to you too, Charlie.
Through Messenger.
No, through text. I sent it to your mobile.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got something. Hotel. There
Okay.
it is, Gainesville. Hilton
Yeah.
Garden Inn, Gainesville.
That's right.
Browns Bridge Road.
Yep.
There'll be a lot of great presentations there. And I can tell you, Jamie Ellis, who was the one that had kind of basically built a lot of the Florida Bee Lab, not entirely, but the bee portion of it. He obviously has transferred to Georgia. So, yeah, he'll be one of the keynotes there. And there's several other good ones.
I don't remember if I've already gotten one or not for Georgia.
Hey, Bill, what size booth do you have there at that conference?
I think it's a double.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably like, what, a 10 by 20 or a 10 by something?
10 by 10, maybe?
That'd probably just be a single, right?
No, the singles it's only an 8 by 8 booth. So
That's
I got
it?
a double.
Well, Michael last year must have had at least a double because he had a couple of 8-foot tables at least that he was setting.
Yeah, I have two 8-foot tables.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
That's the same space that Michael had gotten to. It's against the back wall is a big glass wall where most of the vendors are at, which is the outside wall. So you have plenty of lighting. So it's a really nice space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll like that. It's really accessible for everybody as well. When people walk in and out of the building, they have to walk right by you. There's a couple of entrances, but they have to walk right by you. Bill, did you say that you extracted honey already?
Yep, we have. Yeah.
Happy with the outcome?
We got half of what we got last year.
Yeah, that sounds about like what we upped the number of colonies, and I know what I probably should have got average, and that was about what I did too. And I had heard that from a couple other beekeepers in my area too. Seemed like it was about the same. I had a couple conversations with an old timer, a farmer who's been farming for decades, that we put bees on his property this year. Since we harvested, I took him down some honey and dropped it off for him and his family and chatted with them for just a little bit. It was a good space. He kind of gives me free reign of stuff to do down there. So we're going to go down there tomorrow with a big brush cutter and cut some brush behind the hives and open it up a little bit. But it's really cool to have good property owners that are just kind of, hey, kind of give you free reign of what you need to do within reason, of course.
Yeah. It makes a difference. I mean, when we get rain and we get a good flow going throughout the flow season, that's not an issue to get 1,000, 1,200 pounds of honey. But when we have years 2 or 3 years in a row like we've had this year, no, it sucks.
So one of the conversations I had with this farmer today, he actually, I didn't realize this. He's a very simple individual, much like most farmers can imagine. Very, very generous guy, and he does a lot for the community. But he keeps to himself quite a bit as well. But he had mentioned that he used to do some work with the University of Missouri, and had not realized that, but him and I were talking a little bit about plants today. We had about a 25-minute conversation, which is short for what we would do typically, right?
Yeah.
But so one of the conversations we had when he asked about how well I did, and I said, well, per colony average on the short time I've been beekeeping, I said I should have done better. I said I should have done double what we did. But I said, all in all, I said, it's fine. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
And him and I both came to the agreement. And he doesn't really know honeybees well. He understands some basics, of course. But he had said, yeah. And I told him, I said, we just had too much rain. And he said, yeah. And so I started throwing some thoughts down, and he confirmed them as well. He said, most nectar producing plants, and this is just kind of a broad statement. He said, generally need a little bit of stress on the plant to get them to produce more nectar. He said that goes for agricultural plants as well as, just typical forage too. He said, when you stress the plant a little bit, that's typically when the flower will start to push. Now, he did say that's a fine line there sometimes. And, occasionally you need the heat and the moisture content, as well as whatever the chemical makeup of the soil is, to all line up exactly. And if you have one or a couple things not line up, he said you can have a nice looking plant,
Quick ground.
but you may not have a good nectar flow out of it. And I said,
True.
That's what we're realizing this year.
Yeah.
So, he had kind of mentioned a few other things, which I thought were really interesting. So I really love talking to these guys to understand more about the plants, particularly that our honeybees deal with, because that can help us to better understand how to manage a colony and exactly what things that we should be doing at a certain time and what we shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean that we're always going to win, but maybe we can help to better our chances.
Yeah, I looked at the itinerary, and I would like to see these guys, but it's a 12-hour ride, and there's nothing really there that is useful to me that I can see as far as the lectures go. And that's probably about the time we're going to be third cutting of hay, and my son will need me here on the farm.
Yeah.
If you got to work, you got to work, I guess.
That's right.
We've been pushing pretty hard since, the last trip we would have taken would have
I'm
been out
not
to
much
visit
on
Brian.
driving that far by myself.
Shh, Charlie, just take a plane.
You can ride in the back seat of the truck with me.
There you go.
There's always that. Y'all carry on. I'll be right back.
Chris, that's pretty funny that you mentioned that. There's always that, the same thing goes for me in landscaping, because everything is kind of like a hurry up and wait. When the plants don't start producing, there's certain things you can do to gear up for the landscaping season. And some stuff you can do ahead of time, but customers just don't think about it, regardless of how many times you remind them that we still work in the cold months And there's still certain things that can be done. You know, most people don't realize you can still put a tree in the ground in wintertime. Matter of fact, it's a really good time to do it. If you want to plant trees, hit me up. Let's do it in January. Let's do it in February. Less stress in the plant, all that good stuff. But anyway, the point I was getting ready to make here was when the season actually hits, you know, for me, it's like full on in April. I mean, we're hitting it from the beginning of March, but pretty heavy. But from April, May, June, usually through part of July, what we've gotten to, it's just full on. You know, so by the time you get to August, you know, maybe get the bees treated, get things under control, get a little bit of feed on them if necessary. You're kind of just wanting to ride a little bit. At least that's kind of what happens to me. You push so hard during the other, 4 months, 4.5 months, that you're kind of ready for a little bit of a break. Melissa and I have been trying to get ourselves to take some sort of a little break, vacation, whatever. And I just don't think it's going to happen for us until we get to September to that conference thing. So we're probably not going to be able to get out of town.
Yeah, I may skip the Louisiana one and just go to that one.
It really is a good one. I only have been there 1 year, but a lot of people talked it up. They had a good honey show, great presenters. It's very well organized. They've been around for a very long time. And Julia Mahood, the one that runs the organization, obviously she has a team behind her, but that whole team has done a fabulous job of putting things together. It runs like a well-oiled machine, and that sometimes is easier said than done. So we like to take notes from some of these guys who are real true professionals and try to implement things in our own operation for our own club and things like that. So. So Jace, what I sent you there was a couple of those. It's basically a protein bar made by Strong Microbials. They had given me some of those, and I used them on some small colonies. It's basically like a probiotic, but it uses seaweed. So that's a way to feed honeybees protein. Whereas if you have hive beetles, which I'm certain that you do in your area, the hive beetles actually will not reproduce in that. Whereas if you use something like soy protein, which are mostly like your like your regular pollen patties and stuff, hive beetles can blow up in those. They'll lay eggs in there, and the larvae will just consume that soy protein like mad. But the seaweed stuff, which is the green bar, those are they call them. Melissa, what are those things called? Little protein bites?
Bee bites.
Bee bites. Yeah, they're bee bites.
I got a box of them.
Yeah. I've been feeding that to some
John gave them to me. I hadn't even used them yet.
Yeah, I've got a quarter pallet of the 40-pound boxes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is that the big chunks?
No, they're 1 pound patties.
1 pound patties. Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
they got rid of, or I don't know if they got rid of it, but they finally
got a machine to make the patties.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
And
before some of the stuff they were sending out were big blocks, and holy cow, I don't.
Yeah, you had to
want
cut your own.
Yeah, that's too much work. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just
Yeah, I
not
mean-
into all that.
that company, they had to get up with everybody else when it comes to, I'll say, convenience.
Yeah,
Convenience packaging.
yeah.
Any
So I'm a
problem they
Strong
need to do-
Microbials dealer. So some of the bee bites are coming to Georgia with me, and some of them are coming to EMBA.
Okay, yeah, that's a good product. I've used it with those bees, and I'm telling you what, they consume it quickly. I've never seen a hive beetle hide in it, which is good because we have hive beetles here. So we have to be really cautious of feeding protein here in our area. And honestly, it really wasn't extremely necessary for us to do it because we've had such of a wet year. I still see pollen coming into the colonies right now. I mean, we should be in a dearth right now, and I'm still seeing it come in, which is good. A little bit of nectar, not a lot. I did go in a few colonies today just to quick double check. I'm on the end of my 2-week cycle from my first ApiGuard treatment. Technically, Wednesday starts up my second round, and I think I'll be able to get everything knocked out on there because my temperatures are going to drop again. So I'm going to be immediately, well, not Wednesday, I guess Thursday, all day. I'll be going to all the bee yards, and Melissa and I'll be working hard, knocking all the second round of treatments out on those.
Now,
So,
with you putting bee bites on, Tom, what tells you, or what are you looking for about, hey, these need bee bites, or this is why I'm putting it on?
so these are smaller colonies, don't have the same field force to go out and collect everything from nectar to protein, their pollen and stuff like that. Now there's some in there. I would just give them a little boost is all I was doing.
Yeah. So you've heard me talk about how I use them. I use them to grow bees and for their health and their nutrition in the winter, in the late fall and winter, and then early spring. And I had those nukes that I grew out into 10 framers this year, and that's all they got. They had the nectar flow, what little nectar flow there was, plus they had the bee bites and they had a bucket on them. And I grew them out in half the time it would take you normally to grow them out.
Yeah. Well, it just basically puts the grocery store right in the house,
Yeah,
is
it
kind of what
does.
you're doing rather than a small colony. And some of these were some late splits that I had done.
From compared to like we were just saying earlier about the suey and all that kind of stuff in your regular pollen patties, to me, the bee bites, from what I can read and whatever and understand, they seem to be a more complete food source for the bees. They're not just pollen; it's more than that. That
Yeah. Let me
nutritionally wise.
tell you what's in it.
The only complaint I have is the price. The company needs to come off their price a little bit and get competitive.
Yeah, if you order directly from them, they are higher priced. Their retail price is higher than the pollen patty. But if you come to a dealer that gets them cheaper and sells them cheaper, you're going to save some money.
I mean, I just,
because their retail price, they're trying to pay for that machinery they've had to buy, is what they're paying for.
they don't need to pay for it in one
I know.
1 year time.
I know.
Well,
I don't,
Charlie,
where are they based? Where are they based out of anyway? What state are they in?
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So what you've got right there is the old ones. Yeah. That was the original bee bite with probiotics in it. That was the original.
Yeah. So
now it's a 1 pound patty.
Okay.
Now
one of the developers, Slava, he had come to our meeting a couple months ago and kind of talked a little bit about, honeybee nutrition and talked about the product that they had. And that was the one thing that I really liked. So I'll read off the ingredient statement so you guys can understand what it is. First of all,
before you do that, hang on. Before you do that, did you know that if you're in the bee yard, you can eat it if you get hungry?
Well,
seriously, you
I
can.
didn't know that.
Yeah. It's the same probiotic that you get across the counter for a human.
Really?
Yeah.
So they have invert sugar, glycerin, active dry yeast, coconut oil, spirulina, which is where your green comes from.
That's seaweed.
Pectin. Is it pectin? Is that a binder?
Yeah, that's like in jelly.
Like a thickener?
It's like a gelatin.
Okay.
Same thing as in Jello.
Yep. Water. Bacillus subtilis.
Yep.
Says fermentation product. Bacillus. Boy, I can't even pronounce that one. It's a long one. Licheniformis. Also another fermentation product, and then lemongrass oil. They're fairly small. I don't know. That looks like they. So do they not have these anymore, Bill?
Yeah, they
The
still
small-
have those, but that's the better way to feed it is the 1 pound patty. You
Okay,
can cut them
gotcha.
in quarters or you can cut them in half.
That patty is about 6 inches wide, I think, at least. And
6
it's
inches wide and about 10 inches long.
about 10 inches
Okay.
long.
I tell you what, you open that up, take a big old bite out of it, I'll buy you a steak dinner.
You will.
Uh-huh.
He wants me to eat this on live television.
You think you're JW?
I might be. Why not,
Gonna-
right? If I die, you guys know what happened here.
If you die, you won't get a steak dinner. Melissa will get it.
I wonder if this thing even tastes any good. I'm sure JW is eating this. It's probably fine. Let's see here. If I can
Look
get
at it,
this
it's
package
freezing up
open.
already. You haven't eaten, take a bite.
Hold on a second, Charlie.
Taste it first. Make sure you're going to like it.
It smells like lemongrass oil. I'm not going to take a big bite. I will take a bite, though.
You
You
just
might see
can't
me
eat
fly
too.
around the room.
You can't eat
Yeah,
too
there it
much
is.
of it because if you do, you'll turn your poop green.
Here it is, guys.
That's a pretty good bite.
Yeah, it's a pretty good bite. It's pretty good stuff, isn't it?
Good, isn't it?
You
Uh-oh,
can taste the
look,
sugar in it.
he's turning green at the gills.
It's actually not. It's actually not bad.
No, it's not.
Really, it's not. So
See, I'm a diabetic.
I can
If I'm
taste
in the
lemongrass
bee
in
yard
it.
working and I've got those with me, I'll take a bite off of one so my blood sugar doesn't drop.
yeah, it's really not. It's actually not horrible.
Yeah.
Probably tastes way better than the pollen patty.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
I'm gonna have to wash it down though. I guess I had dinner for tonight, huh?
Yeah, you did.
Did you say something about just don't drink tea behind it?
hey, too late, Joey. Too late, buddy. Gives you like a little pick me up, I guess.
Yeah. The inverted
Chris-
sugar is easier for you to digest.
I can definitely taste the sugar in it. And there's probably quite a bit of sugar in it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it should give a. Normally, doesn't the packaging tell you how much of each is it? Okay, here it is.
Well, is
4%
John
protein.
Turpin just a salesperson for them?
He eats them.
John's more of a, I don't know.
He's a scientist slash
Okay.
salesman.
I knew
yeah,
he
he's
had.
a very poor salesman.
He must be. He gave them to me.
That Clay says that was a YouTube dare.
Huh.
Brian asked if it's going to be like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, where Violet turns into a blueberry.
Well, yeah, y'all don't believe your lying eyes. This might have been a
Hold
setup.
on.
Y'all
Whoa,
don't go
look. I'm getting some green muscles, Bill.
Y'all don't go
He's
try.
growing a stinger.
Yeah. If I grew a stinger, look out, Melissa. Boy, I would pester her all day and all night.
What's new?
What's new? That's right.
Yeah, Matt's fondant's edible too.
It kind of leaves you with a nice minty taste in your mouth. I feel like I've
It
got
does.
really good breath right now.
Yeah.
If you run out of a breath mint, take one of these guys.
Grab a bee bite.
Grab a bee bite. I'm going to
Yeah.
keep one in my truck at all times now. I think next week, whenever, Charlie was talking about the super strong microbial products and such. So I haven't purchased these, but I did get a box of these. And some of these I actually gave away. There's 40 of these bars. Slava gave it to me. Said, here, try them out, see what you think. And I've only used it on small quantities. I've done 2 rounds, actually. So I knew there was a lot of sugar in them. So I'm just trying to give them a little boost. But like I was saying, for anybody here in the chat, if you're in an area that has small hive beetles, it is very dangerous. Not dangerous. It's very risky to be feeding regular protein patties. The difference is with the spirulina, like I said, those I know for a fact after talking with them that the hive beetles cannot lay eggs in here and then reproduce.
Right.
So that's actually really good. So I do have protein patties downstairs, but they're the ones that made up of soy protein. And it would be really reckless for me to do that in my area. Now, maybe Brian and Eric probably could get by with it without issue because those guys don't really have to worry about it. But here I do. So that would be the protein that I would feed. And actually, Bill, I may talk to you about grabbing a few boxes and trying it on some hives in a couple different yards, the 1 pounders, because I don't have a ton of these. I have some, but a bunch of them I just gave away to people. Sent Jace a couple, I think. But
I was talking to a commercial beekeeper in Pennsylvania over the weekend that uses the 1 pound patties too.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what, he said he uses them to grow bees.
Okay. Well, I may try something this year on maybe half the colonies or something. So, we have a few hundred colonies now. Depending on what the cost is, I'll talk to you about it, about getting some. I may drop some on half of them and just see if there's a difference. My plan is on the second round of Apigard that I'm getting ready to do later this week. I do have, and I did purchase from him the large box of the Super DFM Plus.
Yep.
Which is the powder. It's the white powder. Anybody sees Bob Benny video, that's the stuff that he sprinkles on there with a hive tool. That's what it is.
You got the chemical stuff for bees that get into pesticides.
Yeah. So I asked him about that.
What is it called? 801
Super DFM with P801.
Yeah,
Plus P801
plus, I think.
Yeah.
But so I guess what it is, he said if they get a what's the term I'm looking for? A poison, like a herbicide or a pesticide or something like that. Now, some stuff just flat out may kill them. We didn't go into all those details, but basically what it does is it encapsulates that poison as it goes through their system. So it doesn't allow it to absorb into their system, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know all the exact science behind it. Slava, he's the guy
I'll say it from what I read up on it. I'll say it neutralizes a lot of that.
The
big thing about super microbials in general, it's about the bee gut health.
Yeah.
And then there's that one video from the guy, that Bob Benny recorded? I'll say it was in Georgia, maybe last year.
Yeah.
Was he the speaker at that conference you were at, Tom? And the one we're talking about here tonight that talked about bee gut health and probiotics and all that kind of thing.
You're talking about Slava.
Was it him? Was he a scientist or a school teacher or college professor?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. I guess you'll classify him as a scientist. So maybe I think the guy that you're talking about,
kind of comical on stage, but talked about the gut health of the bees and stuff that Bob.
No, he's talking about a speaker, not Slava.
Now this was at my conference.
I don't know, not at your conference. No,
at Georgia.
It may be in Georgia last year.
Oh yes. Hold on a second. Let me ask Melissa. Hey, what was the German guy's name from that gave the presentation? I really enjoyed it last year in Georgia. Oh, Charlie, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I know.
Oh gosh, I can picture his face right now. I've seen him a couple of times. Yeah, he was at the Georgia show. He's actually a veterinarian, but he studies honeybees particularly.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to give me a second on that. It'll come to me.
I'll look him up.
Yeah, I don't know if you can look up last year. Actually, is Mark Zenner in here? He might know. I haven't seen him in the chat. Jorg Mayer. Yep. That's his name.
Yeah.
Dr. Jorg Mayer. If anybody wants to see any presentation that was done at the GBA last year Bob Binney was there. Bob Binney recorded most of his presentation and put it on his own channel. So if you, I don't remember what month he put it up. Maybe look up GBA 2025 York Mayor on Bob Binney's channel, and it'll pop up the presentation that he gave. But he did talk about a probiotic that he used in some studies in his own colonies, a probiotic that he purchased himself. And like I had said before on some chats, people may not remember me saying it. I remember specifically, I'm like, oh, he talked about a product. I'm like, I know somebody is going to, because at the end, I'll do a Q&A. I'm like, I know somebody is going to ask, what product was it that you used? And he never mentioned it in any of his presentation. He just said something for the gut health. Well, interestingly enough, somebody did. So a woman out in the audience says, what gut health, probiotic were you using? And he's like, well, okay. So he said, I figured that was going to happen. It was actually the strong microbials is what he said. And he said, just prefacing it, I paid for this. I bought it. I didn't tell him who I was. I went on like any normal customer and bought it. I wasn't looking for a preferential treatment. And anyway, he said that he did notice a difference, and he had a control group as well on that. But if you guys want to hear his words, I would go to that. I know it's listed on Bob Binney's website, or I'm sorry, his YouTube channel.
It was 10 months ago, and it's called Using Antibiotics and Probiotics for Bees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
That's the title of the video. Yeah, Gorgie Meyer.
I'm assuming it's Mayer, but I don't know.
Yeah, Mayer from the University of Georgia shares insights and research and data on the use of antibiotics and probiotics in bee colonies.
Yes, he had used some. Y'all help me out here for a second. I'm forgetting the name of the antibiotic that some beekeepers, mainly commercial, will use on a colony if they have EFB. Is that terramycin?
I think it is.
American foulbird?
Right. No, not for American. This is for European. I mean, American, they say nuke the colony.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. I think it is terramycin.
I believe it is. Somebody in the audience or whatever, correct me here. I believe it's terramycin.
Now you have to have a veterinarian in order to get that.
Correct. Well, he is that. And he talks about basically the fallout, if you will, of using terramycin on a colony. He said it's extremely hard on a colony, to the point where he said he's been reluctant to use it. Okay, Burke Meadow from Sarah says terramycin.
Yeah, and it also killed a lot of some of the gut health in it, from what I remember.
It absolutely did.
Video and all that stuff.
It would be like you and I taking an antibiotic. It's going to kill all the good nutritional microbes, I guess, that are in our guts.
Well, that's why they tell you to eat yogurt and stuff like that to regenerate that.
Right, to kind of get things going. And he said that it takes a period of time for that to happen. It just doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So that's when he had made the suggestion that he doesn't recommend using it. Again, you can find all this information on Bob Binney's. Listen to his words exactly. But that was the take that I pulled away from it, and that's when he had talked about I guess specifically the strong microbials product that he was using, and noticed an actual difference in it. He really did. So, take that from a veterinarian and a researcher, I guess.
Yeah, it takes somebody like that. The researcher is not going to do anything unless he gets money for it.
Yep.
Bottom line.
Well, this was stuff that I believe that, if I remember correctly, he did this on his own bees and paid for it out of his own pocket. This was not like research money.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is, if you get anybody, a Zach Lamas, whoever, they're not going to do anything unless they got paycheck of some sort coming behind it somehow.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I get it. These guys need to be paid much like you and I in our daily jobs, so it makes sense to me.
I get it. But I guess what I'm saying is if there's no money there, that'll never get studied, thoroughly, I'll say. So, but
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that information
I
was
don't know.
interesting.
Like I say, I've been using the Super DFM, trying that out, and I don't know. I haven't really seen any results with that per se, but I have seen. I do see with these pollen patties that are or bee bite patties, which does have pollen in them. They
Mhm.
see the bees love them. They, 7 to 10 days, they're gone.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
you
and I
don't have.
think that's pretty important for people to recognize that too, that you just said, Charlie. Um, if you can get the bees to consume a protein patty in that 6 to 7 ish day mark, there's really not enough time from the time that those hive beetles might have laid eggs in there. They'll consume that. If it turns into a larvae and it's really small, unless it starts to overrun them, they'll consume those as well. So,
But
only put enough of that protein patty in there that they can consume within that 7 day period.
I
I think
was
is
using
probably
some of
the way.
these in the springtime. I can't remember just when it was. I guess it was after Nabi. I'm sure that's when it was. It was February or so.
Mhm.
And let's see, no, it was after St. Louis. That's when it was because I got him. I got him from Bill, and
Mm-hmm.
we went to St. Louis, came back, and that's when I packed everything up and brought it home. So it had to be the end of
Okay.
what, February?
End of
And
February.
then I
Yeah.
put it in
End of
my
February.
I put
Mhm.
those in. I put some pollen patties in there. I put some bee bites in my hives. And I'll say that yes, the pollen patties were ate well at that time of year. The bee bites were doing quite well. And I don't remember how long they were in that hive, whether it was a week or sometimes you would see there's a bit of a residue where they weren't eating a lot, just like devouring them.
Sure.
That's what I'm seeing now. Different time of the year, and they're 7 to 10 days. There's no evidence whatsoever they're ever been there. I put
Mhm.
them in my cell builder, and I because it was a nuke. I took and cut. I put a half a pound in, and 60. Yeah, day 6 were, which is when I would go in and get my cells.
Mhm.
The bee bite was gone. There was no
Yep.
evidence whatsoever. It was gone, licked clean.
Yep.
Now I put in about a half of a pound of pollen patty in there, and that was pretty much gone. Now I found myself a nice bee bread or fresh, right out of one hive to the other hive of pollen, a frame, a really nice solid pollen frame. Put it in there next to my um, cell bar, and I had put a full pound of pollen patty in there along with a bee bite. 6 days later, the bee bite is totally gone. You couldn't tell there was ever one there. A half a pound, and that pound one, maybe a third of it was ate up. But I also put in a fresh pollen frame in that hive, so they're going to go after the fresh stuff compared to the pollen patty for sure.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
still, even with the fresh pollen frame in there, they devoured that bee bite. So there's something in there that they really like.
Well, it's like those nukes that I had down there in the yard that you can see over my left shoulder there, on the pallets. They went in there end of April, in those nukes the end of April. They were in 10 framers by first Saturday in June.
Mhm.
And they got a gallon bucket every week, and they got a bee bite every week.
Mhm.
And sometimes the bucket would be gone midweek, and we'd open it up, and the bee bite would be gone as well.
Hmm.
Now, is that a pound bee bite or a little
Yep.
a little ball? I know you originally a year or more ago you were using
Just
them.
feeding the little bars like Tom had, but
Yeah.
those were the 1 pound patties. They were gone.
So, Bill, on the box of the 1 pound patties, how many of those 1 pound patties come in that box that you have?
They make 2 different size boxes. They make a 10-pound box and a 40-pound box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, when I got mine from Bill, all they had was 10-pound boxes.
Yeah.
And I
The
think
40-pound box is new this year.
So, Bill, do you have the 40-pound boxes?
That's what's coming to Georgia with me.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll chat with you afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
you know, I might need to keep them in my truck for me just to have snacks or something. I don't know.
You might, yeah, hey, you never know. Feed them to your
Listen.
crew. They might work harder.
You
He'll
know
eat
what?
up
I
all
was
his
going to give
profit.
Melissa the 40 pounds. If I figure if I feed Melissa 10 pounds of that protein a day and she gets some green mussels, she's going to go from 10 pounds to 20 pounds. I mean, we're going to be buying that stuff in by the pallet load, Bill.
Yeah. Roy, they eat them. They consume them.
Yeah.
There's very little bit of it stored. You might see a green cell every now and then, but not much.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
I
anything. I haven't seen anything stored.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
It's
I'll
probably
see.
all hand to mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I was this Saturday. I went. You could just kind of tell certain hives, like they really are trying to make a lot of brood, and I'm like, I'm going to give them a bee bite, and I
Yeah.
put a whole pound on there, and I marked it on top of my hive with these little paper things that I have, and so I went back because I missed one, and I said, "Is this?" My helper was there. He had fixed it all back, and I said, he said, "No, it's this one here." And I went in there and to make sure he was right. And them bees, they weren't just crawling around; they were on it. They were bellying up to the bar. They were
Yeah,
ready,
they were.
and they were all the way around that thing,
Yep.
eating it.
And I don't pull any paper. We don't pull any paper off of them. We just lay them on top of the frames. They'll take care of the paper.
Yeah, same thing. I don't pull it off. I just slap it down and walk away.
I don't know. I take the time to pull it off if I can get it off. If I can get it and pull it off really good, just something I do. I mean, maybe I just need to go ahead and put them on. I did one time. I guess it was when I first got them. I put some of them there where they had papered. It's got like a green goo to it. When it gets really warm in there, and there was this. It was the paper is what it was.
Mm.
I'm like, okay.
So I always thought that the reason I left the paper on, honestly, first of all, being a little lazy, and I know that those bees will shred it very easily. But secondly, I always felt like it helped to keep it more, you've got that texture that's really gummy, almost like a soft taffy, and I was just trying to keep the integrity in there.
They don't dry out like pollen patties do.
No, they don't.
They don't. I've noticed that where they're nice and sort of like Play-Doh, real soft. And
Now the white
These are
super fuel patties, the 1 pound white super fuel patties, they don't.
Yeah.
The bigger ones don't dry out either, but those little ones, the little super fuel bars, they will dry out.
okay.
yeah, I had some of them, and they were definitely dried out.
Yeah, but the bees will still eat them.
My
Still good
goal.
town.
So like I mentioned, that maybe using some of these on the colonies, but ironically, here moving to the end of this week when I put the second round of treatment, a lot of times it will slow those queens down with the Apigard because of the upset in the colony. And I went back and peeled a few of them back, and they completely almost removed that card. And there's like a cellophane piece on the top of that little Apigard card. You all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's a piece on the top. There's a piece on the bottom. They had one of them half drug it out the entrance. I'm like, what's that? I reached down and pulled it. I'm like, holy cow, you guys removed that. So I started popping a few lids and looking in, and the insert, the card, little piece of paper in between, completely gone. All I seen was these two little pieces of like plasticky.
Yeah, it's
layer.
like it's a polymer or something on there. Like it's like wax. I had those. I finished up Apigard last week. And you go in the hives in there, and like you say, the white part of the card is gone.
Yeah.
And then all you got is this like film, double little sheets of film in there, sort of like a plastic film, and you just scrape it up and throw it away, and that's all there is left.
Yeah.
So
they pulled it all out.
last year when I did Apigard treatment, I had 2 aggressive hives. And what they did is they lined it up so they were in the middle of the card and they chewed into the card and they pulled that card down between the frames, got it to the bottom, and out the front door it went with the Apigard on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, with the
Oh
Apigard
my
on it. They did
gosh.
not want it in there. So I
That
picked
is
it up,
hilarious.
opened the hive back up. I said, tough shit. Y'all are going to get it. Right back in there it went.
That's hilarious.
I
That's
had one
funny.
hive out there on the end of that row right there, and I looked down, and I have, like a, what is it, 3/8 hole, a little bit bigger than a 1/4 inch hole for my vaporizer to go, to blow smoke in there, and the bees will come out that way. I don't plug it up or nothing. And down on the ground down there, here all just looked like somebody spread sort of like salt or whatever, and all these little white. And what it was is that the foam or the jelly part of the Aprigard, I guess it is, they hauled that out and out the back door, and it's laying on the grass down there, And now
They didn't want you to find it.
yeah, it's out there on the grass, or they pushed it down through the screen bottom board.
Mhm. Well, as long as they got it on them is what the important part is. You want them to drag it around the colony. That's what we need to happen, right?
Yeah. Well, it's after 10 o'clock. So, and it's Monday night. It's a school night. So I know everybody's got to go to work tomorrow. So y'all have a good evening. Have a good week.
See y'all later.
Yeah. Y'all have a great night. Thursday night is Key. Friday night is Charlie. And Saturday night, you're going to have show, Joey?
Planning on it.
All right. Saturday night is Joey. Y'all have a great week. Good night.
See you.
Good night, everybody.